Hey MBA aspirants, this is something different. In fact, this is very different. Campus Insights, MBA edition. You all are so far struggling with your prep. Maybe for next 1 month, you'll be also struggling with your couple of other exams, which you'll be taking, other management test. We are here today discussing with someone who is responsible for the evolution of a student who has entered into a B school and his journey to the corporate. So evolution of the candidate, he'll be discussing with you on the lines that what exactly the MBA program is, how it has evolved, how there is a change in the course structure, and how due to AI intervention, technological intervention, multiple things are coming in. So, मैं तो आज BML Munjal University campus पे आया था. So I thought कि तुम्हारे लिए एक interesting सा video create करता हूँ. In fact, a lot of people call it podcast. I call it an interaction only. I'm just talking to a friend of mine, Dr. Rik Paul, who is a professor, Associate Dean Placements, and is also Director for the Executive Education. So Rik is my friend, and he has a rich blend of experience in the corporates and in the academics. He is an innovative management educator who is responsible for teaching management education with a lot of innovations, and is also a Lego serious play trainer using a lot of Lego methods to train candidates and aspirants. I'm in an innovative mind who is responsible to train MBA aspirants in an innovative manner. Welcome you, Rik sir. I think with this interaction of ours, they'll get some value addition in terms of understanding the MBA program and in terms of understanding that how you evolve a student who has just entered after his college, or maybe let's say after working for 1 or 2 years with you, to a better corporate professional. And that's the whole perspective. So my idea is not to interrogate you. My idea is just to have an interaction, a wonderful interaction with probably these students who are not able to interact with you directly before they enter into a university, whether they come to BML Munjal University or they go to an IIM or they go to any other business school. You will find that people like you are training them so that they evolve as a better manager. So sir, I'll be starting with a very interesting thing in my mind, that old school of thought which used to exist in business schools when I did my MBA in 2003, if I'm not wrong. And when we passed out, we were taught MBA is all about money, people, management. It's about marketing. But things have evolved a lot. Things have changed a lot. It is now beyond the traditional thought process of marketing, finance, HR, IT, operations. Because of a lot of technological interventions, because of a lot of AI tools in business. So sir, how are you creating modern managers in this current tradition?
All right. So let's understand this thing in a little differently. I mean, we all remember when calculators came into the market, right? And people back then got scared that mathematicians and accountants will lose their job. But did they? They did not. We used calculators. We are human beings. We are bound to evolve. So we used calculators for our best interests and took our job to the next level. Way back in the year 2000, so this dot-com boom came into the market, and then there was the laptops and Microsoft PowerPoint and Excel, and so we all thought, wow, there is a whole different thing that has evolved, right? Many of us will lose our jobs, but did we? We did not. We used all those things, and we are human beings. Like I said, we are bound to evolve, and we took our job, we created more jobs, and we took our existence to a whole new level. Same with today. Now we have AI in place, right? We are human beings. We are getting scared, but we are going to use AI and take our skill sets to a all new level of evolution, right? And that is what is happening all over the world, for that matter. Just to give you a quick little example, and I normally talk about these things in the sessions that I conduct at your organization. So you see, just to give the students who are listening to me right now a little perspective that where the entire business environment is going. Like we all know smart watches and all those wearables that we use, right? And what it does is we call it Internet of Things. So it is connected with the internet. It monitors your movement, your body temperature, your steps that you are walking. So it does all that stuff, and it can technically look at your data for quite some time. So there are companies, consumer durable companies, which are trying to integrate this kind of technologies inside their products, right? So one of the popular refrigerator companies, they are coming up with an AI-driven refrigerator. So what that refrigerator does is it monitors your content within the fridge. Now, if someone monitors your content of the fridge for like for 3 weeks, they would be able to say so much about you, right? About you, how many people are there in your family? Do you have a pet at home? You know, who cooks for your family? I mean, what are the food that you like? What are the food that you don't like? So you can get to learn a whole lot of things. Now, of course, this is a smart refrigerator and it is connected to the internet. Now, it also realizes that the milk carton in your refrigerator gets empty on every Tuesday. And what it does is it places an order in Amazon on Monday morning, so that Tuesday the milk carton is at your doorstep and you don't run out of milk. Very simple process, very much doable, right? But you see the business implications of it. Students would have learned marketing in their coursework in the MBA program, right? And in the marketing we have the students will learn about, you know, promotions and outdoor advertising and digital marketing and YouTube ads. You'll learn about all these things. And with all this, the consumer, it goes to the consumer set, consumer understands and picks a brand over the other, right? Now, who is making the decision of buying the milk packet here? The fridge, right? Now, fridge does not understand the language of human beings. It does not understand outdoor advertising. It does not understand, you know, the 4 P's of marketing we say. It does not understand anything. So you have to talk to the language of the refrigerator. So you see, you would still be marketing, but the way you market, the tools and techniques that you use to market your products and services would be very, very different. To answer the initial part of your question, that how the MBA program is transforming, see, we'll still do marketing, we'll still do finance, but there are a whole lot of tools and techniques that will come in. The fundamental concept still remains the same, but the students need to be flexible and adaptive, to be willing to go beyond and learn all these additional tools and techniques, because that is the way to go. I think.
True. So that means the whole evolution will be around technology.
Around technology, and technology is pretty much a part of our lives. I mean, you cannot do away with technology.
So, sir, would you agree that the general MBA program will now change to a very specialized program? Or there is a balance which is required between what we are teaching them in a general way, generic way, and what you are talking about, something very different?
Okay. Now, if you look at the structure of an MBA program, irrespective of universities or irrespective of colleges, the first year, most of the MBA programs, regular MBA programs would be of 2 years. The first year of the MBA program are always core courses, right? So you would learn finance, economics, HR, statistics, and a whole lot of courses which are fundamental in nature. In the cusp of the first year and the second year, you have an internship program. Most of the universities and colleges would allow you to go for an internship. That varies anywhere between 2 months to 3 months, can go as high as 6 months. Once you come back from the internship program, that's when your electives open up. And your choice of electives essentially decides what sort of specialization you are. Are you a marketing major or a dual specialization, or you are specializing operations? So that choice of electives would decide what your area of specialization is. These days what is happening is there is a whole lot of new electives that are coming into existence. For instance, search engine optimization, digital marketing, artificial intelligence and automation. So all these electives are being offered as a part of your MBA program. Now and there are new genre of specializations or MBA specialization that has come up, like MBA in artificial intelligence, MBA in data science. So now when someone goes ahead and says, I'm an MBA in artificial intelligence, which means I understand the fundamentals because I've gone through the first year of the MBA program, and my set of electives are all focused around AI and tech, right? So that's how the MBA program structures are being changed, not just in our university, any university, any modern university. They're all changing their program structure. So there are new electives that are coming in that the student should be willing to go up and learn.
Earlier, we used to say that MBA program typically develops a candidate who can work across the industries. Is it still true?
It is still true. For instance, let me give you an example. Say if I'm a salesperson, doesn't really matter which industry or what product I'm selling. Now I'm a sales guy and I would need certain set of skills. For instance, I'll be very good at listening to people. I would be very good at solving problems. I would be very good at chasing targets. I won't feel unhappy if my targets are not met, right? I would be very open to travel and meet people, right? I would be very outgoing in nature. So these are all traits of a sales guy. Now it doesn't really matter what I'm selling. If I'm a sales guy, I can sell insurance. I can sell talcum powder. I can sell, lipstick. I can sell apparels. I can sell anything because there's a skill sets that gets imbibed in you, right? Same goes for an analytics guy. Now, if I'm good at analytics, understanding statistics and analytics, and I love doing it, doesn't really matter. Everything is data for me, right? So whether I'm in the oil and gas industry, or whether I'm the apparel retail industry, whether I'm in hospitality industry, for me it's data, and I understand how to interpret, read data, draw inference out of it, and take managerial decisions, or at least help managers take decisions, right? So it's the 2 years of your MBA program is essentially nurturing your skill sets, right? Nurturing your skill sets. And needless to mention, it has earlier also been told repeatedly that soft skills are equally important, right? At the end of the day, machines are just a part of your human lives right now, but machines is not life. There are still human beings involved, right? So it is important, and when you communicate with people, you need to know, you need to have interpersonal skills, you need to have those verbal and communication abilities. You need to still nurture leadership skills, right? You can never, you will have a lot of tech enabled stuff, but then again, the leader is always a human being at the end of the day. So whatever traditional MBA teaches you in terms of your soft skills and your core domain knowledge, it still holds true. It's just that you have a new set of tools and techniques. For instance, see, the artist still paints a picture today. Now he would use probably an AI tool to paint that same picture, but the imagination is still his, right? If you open Instagram randomly, you will get to see a lot of different artists. They're coming up with a lot of different types of art, right? And it's like, earlier, people used to use, crayons and oil pastels and, watercolor and pastel. Now I use, AI and the AI tools and Adobe Photoshop. I'm still painting a picture nonetheless, and that the picture has some inherent meaning, right? So it's just that the tools and techniques has changed.
Most of the students, even it's a general myth that the outcome of an MBA program is calculated with the placement. But there are a lot of other things which corporates expect from a candidate. Even to generate that kind of value that he's expecting from the corporates, they want that a kid should develop these parameters. Being in placement, what are the parameters these corporates are looking at nowadays, and how at your university, that is where we are sitting, BML Munjal University, it's a university by Hero Group, so they themselves are backed up by corporates, they are themselves corporates. So what are these, parameters which these corporates are looking at, so that this kid can actually fulfill his expectation of the actual term that they use, ROI?
Let's start with ROI. The students need to understand that money will always come in the medium and the long term.
True.
All right, money does not come to you immediately, irrespective of which college or university that you get into. And in every college and university, the top 20-25% of the kids will always get the best of placements. And most of the colleges and universities will pick up those top 20-25 students and would do their marketing promotions, right? And we are a great university, please come to us, you will get an amazing ROI. But the point here is, like I said, money always comes in the medium and the long term. What is important is you have to have a profile fitment, right? Most of the corporates that I'm talking to, they either have recruited a person which does not fit the role or does not have the skill sets to do the roles. Let me talk about my life a little. So I started my career with Genpact, right? And I was an environment and health safety consultant for them. Now my job was back in the days to look after a lot of statutory compliances like ISO 14001, OSHA's health safety audit, so on and so forth. So every day, so I used to do daily audits, I used to do weekly audits, I used to do quarterly audits, so on and so forth, and then there were reports that were created, right? It's not that I did not hate I did not love the job, and I did not hate it either. It's just that it's a job and I did it because I had to do it. But out of that particular 1 month, say when I'm working with 1 month, there used to be like 5% of my job responsibility where I had to go and train new recruits as in how to go about following all these protocols in office. And I was very young back then, right, kind of in my early 20s. And those days of the month was super exciting for me. Like, and I was dressing, I was like creating my PowerPoint presentation, I'm conversing with the mirror as in what am I supposed to say, so on and so forth. And those two, the talk was probably for half an hour to 1 hour, but that 1 hour of training, that was the kick for me. So entire month I was thinking, next time when I have the induction program, what am I supposed to do? What am I supposed to talk about? How can I do this thing differently? And that's when I realized working there that, well, this is the job that I ought to be doing for the rest of my life. Rest of it, audit, this is just a job. But this is what excites me the most, right? And that's when I switched gears, enrolled for my PhD program, did my PhD, started teaching, training, and here I am what I am. So you see, it is important to find that fitment in the initial days of your career. What would you love to do, right? So if you get into something that you would love to do for the rest of your life, money will automatically grow exponentially. Now, if you're stuck in somewhere which does not fit your role and abilities and capabilities as a person, you are going to regret. Probably you will get money initially, but in the long run, you won't be able to outperform others, right? So that profile fitment is really, really important. And all the corporate and the recruiters that I meet, there's few things that they talk about. See, the students that come up, they're all Gen Zs, right? And of course, I'm not stereotyping. I have a Gen Z daughter at home, so I know how they behave, what they talk, what excites them. I have an understanding. Now, at the same time, I also look at recruiters. They come in and pick up these Gen Z students to work for them. Few things that comes up almost in every feedback that I take. One is attitude, right? When I say attitude, it's the student should be willing to learn and grow, right? So they should have a learner's ability. That is the very first thing that recruiters would love to see. That are you capable of learning? Are you flexible enough of learning? Now, not many students do the blunder. They will sit for the placement process. Sir, can I get this salary? Can I do that? How am I? So these are wrong questions that you are asking. You would rather ask them, what would be my growth trajectory? How would I learn? Are there certifications happening? Do I get enough trained? How do you ensure that I can do my job better? So these are the right questions that you should be asking, not go ahead and ask, oh, okay, ROI, I'll get like a 50K rupees extra, because that backfires on you. You need to get into a job that you would love to do for the rest of your life. I think that's the way to go.
Okay, guys, Abhi, I was listening to a bunch of MBA aspirants, and believe me, the discussion I overheard the discussion. I'm sure that they were from MBA only. Looking at the description, they were discussing, I am choosing to work in a startup, one boy said. So other said, are you interested to work in a startup? Well, I'll choose to work in a startup. That would be my first preference. It's not because I'll be getting more money there, but it's because that I would love it. So sir, this word, you must also be hearing this word a lot around the corner in the campus. So how our MBA students, we are shaping them up to work in a startup or probably create their own world.
Okay. Now let's understand something about money. So your money, if you join a corporate and you get into a job, your best case scenario is your money is going to double up in 5 years. That's the best case scenario, right? So say someone joins in at a package of 10 lakhs, right? Best case scenario, if he continues with that job, it will be 20 lakhs in next 5 years time. It would be another 40 lakhs in next, so that's the best case scenario. Now what students fail to understand is, if they join a job that they would love to do, that 10 to 20 wala jump is not going to just come in 5 years time, it can come much earlier, right? Now if you do that, you have to also understand that your life events are not going to be static. You are not going to be a student for the rest of your life. Say a student who is at say 22 or 22 for that matter, gets a job of a 10 lakh LPA, right? So when he is 27, that would be 20 lakhs, best case scenario. 32, 40 lakhs. 37, 80 lakhs, right? I'm looking at 15 years down the line. The student has to also understand at 37, he would have aging parents. He would probably be married, probably have 1 or 2 children. So his life's priority is going to drastically shift. So by that time, he has to get into a job or at least be in a trajectory that he has loved doing for the last 15 years. If he has moved around different jobs or has stuck to one single job and he's not happy with it, his life is not just getting compromised. His family's life, his children, his wife, his aging parents, everyone's life is getting compromised because everyone would love to see you happy. Money is one side of the story, but there is a whole lot of people who would be dependent on you back then. So you have to really understand getting into the right profile is way more important than getting like, okay, किसी को 10 लाख सैलरी लग गया, किसी को 12 लाख लगा, अरे वाह मेरे को 12 लाख, तो 12 लाख में जो बंदा जा रहा है, he is not a sales guy, उसने ROI के चक्कर में वो ले लिया, वो जॉब नौकरी ले ली, जो 10 लाख में लिया वो 5 साल में उसको 25-30 लाख पे पहुंच गए, ये 12 लाख का 15 लाख ही पहुंच पाया because he did not like the job. That is not his skill sets. So that's how I think students should look at it. Or agar if you're choosing, see, MBA is a expensive course, right? If money is what is important, 20 लाख गोल्ड में इन्वेस्ट कर दो, कुछ नहीं करना, आपको स्टॉक मार्केट जानने की जरूरत नहीं, कुछ नहीं जाने, 5 साल में वो डबल हो जाएगा, आपको फिर नौकरी करने की जरूरत है ही नहीं. If you really want to invest, you want to look at ROI. Gold would give you a better ROI. So money is not the most important thing. The most important thing is life and the well-being of you and the others around you, right? So this junction is really important for the students.
Very true. Sir, companies say that we are not only recruiting an employee, we are looking for a future leader. And from a future leader 10 years down the line, 15 years down the line, we expect a lot of things that he has developed in 2 years in the MBA program, and further he will develop a lot of things with us when he will work with us. So what are those things that we develop in 2 years and what he has to understand कि तुझको आगे जाने के लिए, मतलब रोल्स बड़े करने के लिए, जो आप अमाउंट्स बोल रहे हैं, अगर मैं उनकी भी बात करूं, रोल्स पे जाने के लिए, उन अमाउंट्स पे जाने के लिए, लार्जर पिक्चर देखने के लिए, लीडरशिप रोल्स पे जाने के लिए, what he will have to do in this journey of next 10-15 years.
जो कंपनी आजकल रिक्रूट करते हैं, दे आर नॉट गोइंग टू ओनली लुक एट योर एकेडमिक्स, दे आर ऑल्सो गोइंग टू लुक एट कि आपने ये 2 साल में हाउ डिड यू डेवलप योर सेल्फ. जिस किसी भी यूनिवर्सिटी में आप जाओगे या कॉलेज में जाओगे, देयर वुड बी लॉट ऑफ क्लब्स, लॉट ऑफ एक्टिविटीज. So 20-30% of your learning happens within the classroom, आपका प्रोफेसर के साथ इंटरेक्ट करके. Rest kind of 70%, and that's a bigger chunk, learning happens outside the classroom, when you interact with people, when you look for opportunities, when you get yourself involved into different competitions, test your mettle there, go for debates, right? That's how you develop yourself. And 20 साल 25 साल पहले भी कंपनी when they used to recruit, They used to look at an overall person. They are not just going to look at what you are good at. They are going to look at कि कंपनी में आप अकेले तो काम करोगे है नहीं. There were 10 other people. आप टीम के साथ कैसे काम करोगे? They are going to look at all those kind of important elements of your life. तो CV में आप जैसे कोई कैंपस प्लेसमेंट होता है, 300 बच्चे हैं सर अपने कैंपस में, 300 बच्चे का CV जा रहा है. CV में क्या है? 10th का परसेंटेज, 12th का परसेंटेज, ग्रेजुएशन का परसेंटेज, और उसके बाद हमने इंटर्नशिप यहाँ पे किया है और मेरा CGPA ये है. बियॉन्ड दैट CV में और 8-10 सर्टिफिकेशन हमने जो किया होगा, सब यही बोल रहे हैं. तो वेयर इज माई डिफरेंशिएटर? हाउ वुड and most of these cases these guys get rejected because they don't have a differentiator in their CV, right? बहुत सारे लोग सोचते हैं अच्छा चलो ये IIT में कोई केस कंपटीशन हो रहा है, क्या फ़ायदा जाने का, बट वो फ़ायदा आपको अभी नहीं समझ में आएगा. वहाँ पे जाके हो सकता है 10 लोगों से कनेक्ट बन जाए आपका. हो सकता है आप किसी स्टार्टअप कंपटीशन में गए, बिजनेस कंपटीशन में गए, वहाँ पे 10 लोग मिल जाए, वो जो आगे जाके 5 साल में आपको काम आएगा, right? So people fail to realize this often. Companies look for an overall personality. They don't just look at a workforce कि जो आएगा, जो 9 to 6 काम करेगा और फिर घर जाएगा. They want. तो you said about this word entrepreneur, right? So आजकल companies would not just want entrepreneur, they want entrepreneurial skill sets. मतलब जो कंपनी के अंदर रह के कंपनी का तरक्की करे. Not start their own business, but entrepreneur. That's the kind of people that companies are looking for. अभी मैं मेरे लाइफ से एक छोटा सा आपको एग्जांपल देता हूँ, just to help students understand why is it so that I'm stressing so much about activities beyond campus premises, right? And MBA programs are designed such that they would allow students all these opportunities. मेरा ग्रेजुएशन हुआ था लाइक 2005-2006 में. तो ग्रेजुएशन के बाद जैसे, एंड आई वाज अ ग्रेजुएट इन माइक्रोबायोलॉजी, तो ग्रेजुएशन के बाद ऑफ कोर्स कैंपस प्लेसमेंट्स हो रहा है, कैंपस रिक्रूटमेंट हो रहा है, वी हैव बीन सेंट टू डिफरेंट प्लेसेस. एंड बैक इन द डेज इन कॉलेज आई वाज आल्सो अ प्रोफेशनल ड्रामर, सो आई यूज्ड टू हैव माय own band, I used to perform at multiple places and clubs, go to competitions, so I had my own band. So that's just a part of me, right? And in Kolkata, many of the boys my age, they would be involved in something or the other. So I was a drummer, and I had my own band. So college final year of my graduation, I was sent to Taj Bengal. So the hospitality Taj hotels, Taj Bengal. Every 5-star property has a microbiology lab. So they wanted a trainee microbiologist. 7 people from our college was sent for the interview process. My name was the last, right? So all the other 6 were interviewed, and then the office boy came and said, "Sir, you have to wait for some time because the interviewer is going for a meeting, probably half an hour, 40 minutes." Half an hour, 40 minutes later, ना interviewer आया, मुझे देख के बोला कि सर रिक आप यू स्टिल वेटिंग? सर कॉलेज से आया हूँ, आई हैव टू गो बैक रिपोर्ट टू द प्रिंसिपल. तो देन ही सेड कि चलो ठीक है आपका इंटरव्यू करते हैं. तो मैं इंटरव्यू में बैठा, सबका जैसे CV होता है उस ज़माने में, मेरा भी पेन एंड पेपर में CV था, मैंने दिया. CV जैसे तैसे करके उसको 2 पेज बनाया था. उस टाइम पे तो ना ये इतना सर्टिफिकेशंस हुआ करता था, वट एवर तो था नहीं, मतलब जैसे तैसे करके CV को 2 पेज बनाया था. तो उसने पहला पेज देखा ही नहीं, फ्लिप टू द सेकेंड पेज. फिर नीचे को करिकुलर एक्टिविटीज़ में देखा कि ड्रम्स लिखा हुआ है, एंड ड्रमर एंड. फिर उसके बाद 15-20 मिनट्स ही इज़ जस्ट क्वेश्चनिंग मी ऑन माई बैंड. ठीक आप कब बजाते हो, कब परफॉर्म करते हो, कैसे रिहर्सल करते हो, कैसे आप टाइम मैनेज करते हो, आपका स्टडीज़, आपका ड्राम्स, आपके ग्रुप, कहाँ कहाँ आपने परफॉर्म किया है. तो आई केप्ट ऑन सेइंग, और मुझे बाय दैट टाइम ये सेंस हो गया था कि जिनको लेना था उन्होंने ले लिया. अब बिकॉज आई वॉज वेटिंग फॉर सच अ लॉन्ग टाइम, ही इज़ जस्ट डूइंग अ कर्टसी. तो यही सारे सवाल पूछा मुझे, बैंड रिलेटेड सब कुछ. तो फिर बोला ठीक है रिक, थैंक यू सो मच एंड विश यू ऑल द बेस्ट. जस्ट बिफोर आई वॉज लिविंग ही आस्क्ड मी वन सिंपल क्वेश्चन, वेरी सिंपल क्वेश्चन फ्रॉम माइक्रोबायोलॉजी. लाइक किसी को पूछा जाए 4 P's ऑफ मार्केटिंग, जो अगर कोई मार्केटिंग में मेजर करे 4 P's ऑफ मार्केटिंग इज अ वेरी बेसिक क्वेश्चन. वैसा ही एक मेरा माइक्रोबायोलॉजी में एक छोटा सा सवाल पूछा, और आई वेरी रिलक्टेंटली आंसर्ड कि बॉस ये है. मुझे पता हो गया कि मेरा तो होने वाला है नहीं. आफ्टर 7 to 10 days the principal of the college called me, and then he handed me an envelope. Rik, congratulations, you are the one selected for the role. अब मैं तो वो देख के पहले टेंशन में, पहले तो खोल के देखा ड्रमर की नौकरी तो नहीं है, because he did not ask me any question about microbiology at all. That I was really astonished कि हो क्या गया ऐसा, because I had an understanding कि बाकी सारे लोगों को इंटरव्यू में क्या क्या सवाल पूछा गया है, so on and so forth, right? All academic stuff. तो फिर मैंने कंपनी ज्वाइन की ताज, I joined and then I started working there. So by the time I became a little comfortable with the interviewer, I asked him a simple question कि सर आपसे ना एक सवाल पूछना था, काफ़ी दिन से मेरे दिमाग में है और ये सवाल पूछना था. क्या सवाल? उन्होंने बोला कि सर you interviewed 7 people in totality from our college. 6 of them are dear to me. They are either equally as good or better than me in academics, right? And I have an understanding of the kind of questions that you have asked them. But you never asked me a question on microbiology. You never asked me anything. You don't know my proficiency in this job that I am going to do. And I was very young, right? These are like legit questions. And then he smiled. And he looked at me and said, Rik, all of you are from the same college? And yes, sir. I asked all of you the similar questions. They all asked similarly. And yes, sir. You have all been taught by the same professors? Yes, sir. You have all first class marks in your mark sheet? Yes, sir. You have all like 70-80% in your 10th and 12th? Yes, sir. And I know for sure you would be no different. But what made you different was, you know how to work in teams. What made you different was, you know how to manage time. What made you different was, you know how to talk and interact with people. Why? Because you are a part of a band. Rest of the people never had anything like that. In an organization, you would need those capabilities. And that's why you are selected. You see, such a simple thing. So people think that I'll only be in the class, get a great CGPA and I'm game. It doesn't happen that way. It took like 20 years for colleges and universities to realize the importance of what that interviewer was telling me back in the days, 20 years back. Right? So these days, any university you get into, when you choose an university for that matter or college for that matter, make sure you also look at things which are beyond academics, that really shapes you as a person, right? Opens up your personality, helps you explore areas that you have never explored in your life, and that cannot be explored within the confined 4 walls of a classroom.
So a lot of MBA aspirants are watching you today.
Yep.
I would just like to ask one thing from their side.
Gee.
What are the 3 traits that you believe with full heart that you develop these 3 traits here at BMU?
Number 1, we want someone to be a lifelong learner, right? Never hesitate to learn. So this is a trait that we try and deliberately build in, and that's basically in our mission and vision statement as well. That is number 1. Number 2 trait that we always want to build in our students is being an ethical leader. Ethics is doing the right thing when no one else is watching, right? And given today's world, it is really, really important that we nurture this kind of skill sets. Even the top B schools in the world, like the Ivy League schools like Harvard and MIT, 60-70% of the case studies that they discuss in classrooms, they are all based on ethics. Why? Because the world realizes that we need good human beings, right, to control machines, to make the most out of them, to lead people, right? So being ethical is another very important skill set, right? So first is lifelong learning, second is being an ethical leader, and third is creating an impact on the society. See, whosoever is applying for the MBA program, they are the privileged lot. If you look at India for that matter, how many people do aspire to do an MBA, right? Or at least have the financial condition to go for an MBA program. It's not easy. So now that, and whatever you are today, wherever you are, because someone somewhere has actually believed in you, right? हो सकता है आपका माँ बाप ने आप पे बिलीव किया है, हो सकता है अपने भाई ने बिलीव किया है, हो सकता है आपके स्कूल के टीचर्स ने बिलीव किया है, तभी तो आप यहाँ पे हो आज, you are aspiring for it. So you be humble, be grateful, right? So these are 3 very important traits we want to ensure that every student who graduates from BML Munjal University has. Number 1, be a lifelong learner. Number 2, be ethical. And number 3, be humble. Humility is key. Humility is key, right?
So guys, I believe you have listened to this talk carefully, and I'm just trying to summarize a couple of things, although AI will do that. Number 1, be a part of an MBA program where you holistically develop yourself for 2 years. Don't run behind the placement value only. Run behind good fitment, good profile, which that suits you and that fits you. Otherwise, you will have problem in your long-term growth. And try to be a part of the group which is engaged in everything. Maybe sir said 25% of the group, I am saying 10% of the group. To probably fall in that window where you can come out with flying colors, excellent placement values. More important to the placement value is a right fitment in the organization. I mean, you're looking for a profile that fits you. So to excel in long-term leadership, it is important that you develop 3 things that he said, and all 3 are very important, but learning throughout your career phase would be the most important part. And of course, ethical fitment is another thing that you have to look at. So guys, with this note, I would like to thank sir that he came on this podcast or on this talk show, and we had a good time. With this probability that I am trying to generate this probability that this interaction will reach to you, and when you are not able to be a part of the university beforehand, you can see, you can talk, you can see the people watching, people talking to you and discussing with you the program, the course structure, etc. And people like us can probably guide you that this is the right fitment for you. So wish you all the best, guys. Keep rocking and take care of your health, take care of your hard work, and most importantly, take care of your parents. Thank you.